Hey there guys and girls, Manthus here and welcome back to another video. So today, let's talk about Shadowlands. Let's try and answer one of the most commonly asked questions that I see not only on my YouTube videos, but also I get see this a lot on Reddit, and I've even been asked this a whole bunch on my live stream. And it's a very simple question. It's a very simple question of all of the materials that we're going to be gathering up at the beginning of the Shadowlands. What should I do with them? Should I sell these materials, or should I use those materials to craft items with? And for some of us out there, for some what I would consider seasoned goblins, for people that have been doing this for a long time, the answer seems pretty obvious. But there's a lot of people out there that are potentially new to making gold in World of Warcraft, and this isn't necessarily a straightforward question to a lot of them. So I thought we'd dive into this in a little bit more detail. So, like I said, I'll leave the question up on screen here. I hope Sarah doesn't mind me highlighting this. This is nothing against them personally, but this was a fantastic question that I spotted, and I tried to put a bit of thought into the answer for this. But let's just look at the question in detail. Would love to know if with the initial rush, are you planning to farm materials to resell them or to feed into your crafting professions? I'm torn when trying to decide whether to use the materials myself or sell at the beginning to take advantage of the high demand from people who are in a hurry to max their crafts. Now, there's a lot to this question, but I think it boils down to one very simple thing, and it's risk. Like, what is the risk with this? Let's look at the two options we've got. We've either got the option of just selling all of those materials. Take the materials that we've picked from gathering, whether they be herbs or mine, or if we've done a bit of skinning, we're going to take those items, or even meat and fish potentially. Are we going to take those items and just put them on the auction house? What is the risk involved with putting them on the auction house? Well, the only risk is really that they don't sell. That's not a huge risk because we just put them back on the auction house again later. This is the simple method and the most default method for most people, and actually the method I recommend for a lot of people starting out with gold making. If you've gathered a bunch of materials, put them on the auction house. Don't undercut what's already there, just list them at the same prices as already on the auction house, and there's a very good chance, especially at the beginning of the Shadowlands, that they will sell and you'll get a nice chunk of gold in the mail and everybody's happy, right? Now there is the other option in this, and that other option is quite simply, well, do we craft with them? Now there is, when we look at it, there's quite a lot more risk involved with crafting, because of course you've got to level up your professions. Secondly, you've then got to decide, well, what do I craft? And then once I have crafted it, you've then got to deal with actually selling it on the auction house again. So the third bit is kind of the same. We sold the herbs, and we're going to sell the end item. It's the two bits before that make a significant difference. So the leveling of the professions, what do we know about that as we get into Shadowlands? Well, what we do know for sure is it's going to be expensive. It's going to cost a lot. If you want to sit in Oribos and you want to sit next to the auction house and buy materials to level up your professions in the first week of Shadowlands, it's going to cost you a lot of gold. Now the reason you would want to do that is presumably to then go on and make more gold with that profession. You come to the conclusion that having higher recipes available to you, and not only having them available to you, but having them available to you before everybody else has them available to you, potentially allows you to sell those crafted items for a nice markup, a nice profit, a good amount of margin, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully that the gold that you make by selling those items eventually will pay those extra costs that come towards you by leveling up the profession nice and quickly. That in essence is quite a risk. Secondly, each and every profession has probably 20-25 different things that it can craft. Where should you put those materials into? Which one of these list of 25 items should I actually craft? Do I know that somebody is going to want this item when I craft it? All of these are just little bits of risk that make it, with the right amount of know-how, it makes it an easy. Like I said, the seasoned goblins probably go, oh yeah, sure. You want to craft this and this and this and this, but ignore this and this and this because they don't sell. There's only realistically one way that these people have found this information out, and that's by testing it. And that's why I try to sort of try to guide people in one direction or another when this kind of question comes through. If you're new to goal making and you feel that you need to ask the question in the first place, you're safer off probably just selling this sort of stuff on the auction house. Take those materials, put them on the auction house, and wait until the markets are a little bit less volatile. Probably, I would say, for the first week to 10 days of Shadowlands, material prices are going to be doing crazy things. I've mentioned this a couple of times on stream recently over the last few days, that we will start off in Shadowlands and all the materials will be really, really expensive. And then after like 2 or 3 days, you'll see those prices just plummet like a rock. And people start panicking. They're like, oh my god, all of these materials, they were worth 100 gold yesterday. They're only worth 50 gold today. Shadowlands is dead. Professions are dead. Game over. I'm going to go back to like grinding mobs in Draenor for grey items to vendor. This is something that genuinely happens. But then a few days later, when everybody starts getting to max level and people start looking to level up their professions, then they start buying a few bits and pieces off the auction house. The supply, that huge influx of materials from when everybody was leveling, starts to slow down, and the demand for materials starts to go back up, and so the materials start going up again. It's really, really crazy time to see. I've done this 3 or 4 times now, but well, probably more than that. How many expansions are we on? I've been doing this since Burning Crusade. Every time we go into an expansion, you see this same thing happen. It's practice, and it's analysing how much risk is involved for you. Do you want to take that risk? Would you rather just sell these items on the auction house, make a whole stack of gold, and then do with that gold as you wish? Or would you like to level up your professions and try crafting a few things? Part of the risk is that it might go wrong. Quite simply, it might go wrong. But realistically, you've not lost a huge amount. In the grand scale of things, this is ultimately a game. We've got to remember that you should be trying to have fun with this. And in my opinion, the crafting and the analysing of what to craft and then how much to sell it, and then dealing with annoying undercutters on the auction house, there's a whole bunch of things that come into play. But that element of it is quite fun for me. And if you enjoy that, then yeah, by all means, take those materials, craft a bunch of items with it, and have fun. And that's what it really comes down to, having fun. If what is more fun to you is spending gold on buying the latest and greatest vendor mount or the biggest and best bind on equip BOE, if that's the fun thing for you, then just cash out nice and quickly. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. It's a game. It's easy. But if you enjoy like that crafting and the selling of the items and the risk that comes along with it, there is always the potential with crafting to make even more gold, and that's the fun thing about it. So guys, I'll leave it there for today. Just a short little video to answer a very common question. I hope to see you all in the Shadowlands. We are with 8 hours to go. The hype train is real. But yeah, I thought this was quite a topical question, considering a lot of people have chosen to go with a couple of gathering professions because we all know materials are going to be crazy priced. So then guys, hope to see you in the stream sometime over the next few days. We're going to be leveling like crazy. Come say along, come say hi. You can ask your goal making questions if you've got any. I'd love to see you. But guys, I'll leave you with that. Enjoy. Peace.